Hello everyone, this is Mehak Upadhyay, Legal Internet Lexington Company. Welcome back to our channel. In this video, I'll be discussing about relevancy of a statement made by a dying person, or in legal term we say this statement as dying declaration. So we'll be discussing about the relevancy of this dying declaration, as how much they are relevant before as a piece of evidence before the court. The section 32 clause first talks about this dying declaration of when a person dying makes a statement of how the death is caused or in what circumstances the death is caused. We'll be discussing one by one. First, the section begins with the categories of person this section contains, or the category of persons this section covered. So this section covered four categories of persons, means under section 32 statements made by four types of persons would be relevant. Section 32 have 8 clauses in it. So one of those clauses is about dying declaration, but it talks about in total 4 type of peoples whose statements would be relevant under this section. Those peoples are, first is the person who is dead. The person who is dead, that statement would be and if the person is dead and anything said by that person in that state, and soon after it he died, in such circumstances his statement would be relevant under section 8. What would be the components of his statements we'll be discussing in the later part, but so for now we are concerned what are the categories of persons whose statements would be relevant under section 32. So first category is the person who had died, means the person is stated whatever he wants to say, and then later he died, then the statement would be relevant. Then we have a person who cannot be found. So what does this mean, the person who cannot be found? Section 3, there is one clause that in section 107 and section 108 of Indian Evidence Act talks about the presumption of death and the presumption of life in the cases where person is not known for a particular time period. In section 107 it is mentioned there, if a person is not known to anybody, is being unheard to anybody for a continuously of 7 years, then such person would be considered as a dead person. So in that case the court will presume the death of that person even if there is no evidence regarding his death, nor there are any facts stating his presence. So in such circumstances when the person is unhurt for about 7 years, and the court will presume his death in those situations, so any statement made by that person before being misplaced or before being missing, then those statements would be relevant under section 32. Then we have person who is incapable of giving evidence, means the person by reason of the unsound mind, by reason of some intoxication, or by some reason of some mental disorders, that person is not in a state to know the nature of the nature of the question asked to him, to the nature of the facts stated before him, and in return he is not in the state of mind to answer those questions asked, is not in a state of mind to understand the facts produced before him. In those circumstances the person is known as a person incapable of giving evidence. And if such person has said anything about relevant to the fact in issue, would be considered relevant under section 32 of this section 32 of Indian Evidence Act. And the last category is the person whose attendance is necessary before the court of law, but that cannot be achieved without a proper delay, or without an unusual delay, or without an unusual expense on its bringing. For example, a person residing in USA and suddenly the flights are missing. Flights are banned for flights are cancelled for a particular time, and before during those time his attendance to the court was required, but because of the circumstances he could not reach there after a delay of 7 days. So whatever has been said by the person before leaving to the USA, it may be 1 year or 2 years, that anything related to the affected issue, any hint given by that person related to any fact that has been questioned before the court would be considered as relevant under section 32. So we have discussed 4 categories of persons whose statements would be relevant under any of the clause of section 32. Now we'll discuss specifically about dying declaration. Dying declaration has been mentioned under section 32 clause 1. Only the clause 1 of section 32 talks about the dying declaration. Dying declaration is a statement made by either oral or written, made by a person directly relating to the cause of his death, or speaking about any of the circumstances that resulted in his death, and soon after making that statement the person died. So then after some time, that the cause of the death of that person has been questioned before the court. So in those then the statement made by that person relating to the cause of his death or any circumstances in which his death has been resulted, it would be relevant under section 32. So section 32. One of the main criteria before. So it is very clear from section 32 that for making the statement made by a person to be dead just before his death would be relevant only if that making that statement the person actually died. If that person actually died. What are the from this we have four elements of this section or this clause, we can say. First, the person is dead. So person is dead after soon he make that statement or after some time, but his death must be related to what he has said. Second, the statement would be revealing the cause of his death. Third, the statement, if not revealing his cause of the death, then must be related to one of the circumstances that resulted in his death. And lastly, that his death, and lastly was there that the declarant was a competent witness. We will be discussing all these 4 components one by one in my next video. Hope you like this video. Do like and share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.